Sarah Chen stared at her reflection in the mirror of her quarters aboard the Valyrian Royal Space Station. The dark circles under her eyes showed how tired she was after a long day of diplomatic meetings. Being Earth's youngest ambassador at 28 was not easy, especially when dealing with an alien species as complex as the Valyrians. She loosened her formal diplomatic uniform and sat down on her bed, ready to review her notes for tomorrow's trade negotiations. The Valyrians were interested in Earth's agricultural techniques, and she needed to make sure everything went perfectly. A soft knock on her door interrupted her thoughts. Strange, it was well past the station's night cycle. When she opened the door, her eyes widened in surprise. Princess Thera stood there, her azure skin seeming to glow under the dim corridor lights. "Princess, is everything all right?" Sarah asked, quickly bowing her head as protocol demanded. The tall Valyrian princess glided into the room without waiting for an invitation. Her silver eyes sparkled with curiosity as she looked around Sarah's quarters. "I hope I'm not disturbing you, Ambassador Chen. I had some personal questions that couldn't wait until morning." Sarah felt nervous. This was definitely not in the diplomatic handbook. "Of course, Your Highness. Though perhaps we should discuss this in the official meeting chambers." Thyra laughed, a musical sound that reminded Sarah of wind chimes. "Please, call me Cthulhu. And no, this isn't official business. I'm curious about humans, about you, specifically." Over the next hour, Cthulhu asked dozens of questions about Earth, human biology, and Sarah's personal life. The princess seemed fascinated by everything, especially how humans could have children with just 2 parents. Valyrians needed 3 different subspecies to reproduce, which made their population growth very slow. "Your species is so adaptable," Thera said, moving closer to Sarah on the bed where they sat. "Your genes can change and mix in ways ours cannot. It's fascinating." Sarah felt her heart beat faster as Cthulhu's hand touched hers. The princess's skin was cool and smooth like touching silk. "Thera, I don't think this is appropriate. The non-fraternization rules are made by people who don't understand what we could be together," Cthulhu finished. Her silver eyes seemed to look right into Sarah's soul. "Don't you feel it too? This connection between us?" Sarah knew she should say no. She knew she should ask the princess to leave. Instead, she found herself leaning closer as Cthulhu's other hand gently touched her face. That night changed everything. For them, for their species, and for the future of human-alien relations. But at that moment, neither of them was thinking about diplomacy or protocols. They were just 2 beings discovering something beautiful and unexpected in the vast darkness of space. 2 months after returning to Earth, Sarah sat in her office at the diplomatic court headquarters, trying to focus on paperwork. The Valyrian trade deal had been a success, but she couldn't stop thinking about Thera and their night together. They hadn't spoken since she left the station, following strict diplomatic protocols. Her communication panel lit up with an urgent message. Her heart stopped when she saw it was from Cthulhu. With shaking hands, she opened the transmission. The princess's azure face appeared on the screen, looking both excited and nervous. "Sarah, wonderful news. I'm pregnant." Sarah dropped her coffee mug. It shattered on the floor, but she barely noticed. That's impossible. Valyrians need 3 parents, and I know." Thera's silver eyes sparkled with joy. "Our doctors can't explain it. They've run the tests 20 times. The baby carries both our genetic markers. You've done something no other species has ever done." Within hours, the news spread through both Earth's and Valyria's scientific communities. Sarah's office was flooded with calls from xenobiologists, genetic researchers, and government officials. Everyone wanted to understand how a human's DNA had bypassed the Valyrians' 3-parent reproduction requirement. Dr. Maria Rodriguez, Earth's leading xenobiologist, arrived at Sarah's office looking excited. "Ambassador Chen, this is revolutionary. Human DNA apparently has enough genetic diversity within a single person to simulate the role of multiple Valyrian parents. We never imagined this was possible. The next few days were chaos. News networks from both planets ran constant stories about the first human Valyrian hybrid child. Conservative Valyrian nobles called it an abomination, while scientists saw it as a breakthrough that could help the Valyrians overcome their reproductive limitations. Sarah spent hours in medical labs, giving samples and answering endless questions, but her mind was on Cthulhu. When they finally got to talk privately again, the princess looked worried. "My family is upset," Cthulhu said over the secure channel. "They say I've embarrassed the royal house. But Sarah, I don't care. This baby is a miracle, and I'm happy it's yours." Sarah touched the screen, wishing she could hold Cthulhu's hand again. "What do you need from me?" "Come back to the station," Cthulhu said softly. "My doctors say this pregnancy might be different from normal Valyrian ones. I want you here. Not just as the other parent, but because I haven't stopped thinking about you." As Sarah prepared for another journey to the Valyrian station, she realized her life would never be the same. She was about to become part of something bigger than herself, the beginning of a new chapter in human-alien relations, written not in diplomatic papers, but in the genes of a child who should have been impossible. The Valyrian royal palace buzzed with activity as nobles gathered for an emergency council meeting. Thera stood before them, her head held high despite the whispers and glares. Sarah sat in the diplomatic section, watching nervously as the High Council debated their future. "This is an outrage." Elder Vucker's voice boomed through the chamber. His purple skin had darkened with anger. "A royal carrying a hybrid child. It goes against all our traditions." Farah stepped forward, her voice steady. "Our traditions also speak of adaptation and growth. The medical data is clear. This child carries strengths from both species. It could be the answer to our declining birth rates." The chamber erupted in arguments. Some nobles supported Cthulhu, seeing hope in the human genetic compatibility. Others demanded she end the pregnancy to preserve their species' purity. Dr. Loran, the royal physician, displayed holographic medical scans. "The fetus shows remarkable stability. Human DNA has filled gaps in our genetic structure that we've struggled with for generations. This isn't just a healthy child. It could be the healthiest Valyrian birth in centuries." Sarah watched as the mood in the chamber slowly shifted. The scientific evidence was hard to ignore, especially for a species that prided itself on logical thinking. Later that evening, Sarah found Thera in the palace gardens. The princess was sitting by a fountain, her hand resting on her slightly swollen belly. "How are you holding up?" Sarah asked, sitting beside her. Thera smiled, taking Sarah's hand. "Better now that you're here. The council is starting to accept it, especially after seeing the medical reports. But that's not what's making me happy." "What is?" "This." Thera placed Sarah's hand on her belly. "Our child. I don't care about politics or traditions. When I feel our baby move, I know this is right." News networks across both worlds covered the story extensively. Images of Sarah and Cthulhu together became symbols of hope and change. Young Valyrians especially supported them, seeing their relationship as proof that their civilization could evolve. Earth's governments quickly moved to establish new diplomatic frameworks. If human Valyrian reproduction was possible, it would change everything about their relationship. Trade agreements, cultural exchanges, and immigration policies needed updating. As the political storm raged on, Sarah and Cthulhu found peace in their private moments. They spent evenings planning their future, discussing names that would work in both cultures, and imagining what their child might look like. Sometimes the best diplomatic breakthroughs, Sarah told Cthulhu one night, happen when we stop following protocols and start following our hearts. Cthulhu's silver eyes sparkled. "Then perhaps we should break a few more protocols." Sarah laughed and pulled her close. They had already changed history. What was a few more broken rules? In the ancient Valyrian archives, deep beneath the royal palace, senior archivist Tavel's hands trembled as she read the dusty text. After 3 days of searching through historical medical records, she'd found something extraordinary. "Princess, Ambassador Chen, you need to see this immediately," she called through her communicator. When Sarah and Kythera arrived, Tavel showed them a holographic translation of ancient Valyrian script. It's called The Prophecy of Star-Crossed Genes. Our ancestors wrote about visitors from the stars whose blood would rejuvenate our species. Kythera leaned closer, her pregnancy now clearly visible at 4 months. "What exactly does it say?" "It speaks of beings whose genetic code contains the diversity of thousands," Tavel explained. "Their DNA would adapt and merge with ours, creating children stronger than either parent. Ambassador Chen's genetic markers match these descriptions perfectly." Sarah studied the ancient text. But why didn't anyone connect this before? "The prophecy was dismissed as mythology," Tavel said. "Until now, no species we encountered had compatible DNA. Humans are unique. Your genetic structure is remarkably adaptable." The discovery spread quickly through Valyrian society. Even the most conservative nobles couldn't ignore their own ancient texts. The prophecy transformed Sarah from a diplomatic embarrassment into a symbol of hope. Dr. Loren's latest scans confirmed the prophecy's claims. The fetus shows enhanced immune responses, improved cellular regeneration, and none of the genetic degradation we've seen in pure Valyrian births for the past century. In the privacy of their quarters, Sarah massaged Kythera's shoulders as they processed the news. "How does it feel to be part of an ancient prophecy?" she asked. Kythera laughed softly. "Less important than how it feels to carry our child. Though I admit it's nice not being called a disgrace to my species anymore. My mother would say timing is everything." Sarah smiled. "A month ago, they wanted to exile us. Now they're calling us the future of Valyrian evolution." Their moment was interrupted by an urgent message. More Valyrian nobles were requesting meetings with Earth's diplomatic corps, specifically asking about human Valyrian compatibility programs. "Looks like we started a trend," Kythera said, touching her belly. "Our little one isn't even born yet, and they're already changing the world." Sarah kissed her forehead. "That's what happens when you break the right rules at the right time." Kythera's scream echoed through the medical wing. Sarah rushed to her side, gripping her hand as another wave of pain hit. The pregnancy had entered its 6th month, and complications were mounting. "Her body temperature is too high," Dr. Loren announced, studying the medical displays. "The hybrid fetuses are generating more heat than a typical Valyrian pregnancy." Sarah's head snapped up. "Fetuses, plural. Twins," the doctor confirmed. "We just confirmed it. Their rapid development masked the second child until now." Kythera's silver eyes widened with both joy and fear. The monitors showed her vital signs fluctuating dangerously. Valyrian bodies weren't designed to handle the energy demands of human hybrid children. Earth's medical team, led by Dr. Rodriguez, worked around the clock with Valyrian doctors to find solutions. They developed a special cooling system to help Kythera's body cope with the increased heat. "The babies are drawing more nutrients than we expected," Dr. Rodriguez explained. "Their growth rate matches neither human nor Valyrian patterns. We're in uncharted territory." Sarah barely left Kythera's side, sleeping in a chair by her bed. One night, as they watched the station's artificial sunset through the medical bay window, Kythera squeezed her hand weakly. "I'm scared, Sarah," she whispered, "but not of the pain. I'm scared they'll take them away if something happens to me. Promise you'll protect them." Sarah kissed her forehead, feeling the dangerous heat of her skin. "Nothing will happen to you. We're going to raise them together, break more rules together, and probably cause more diplomatic incidents together." The medical teams finally created a breakthrough, a combination of human plasma treatments and modified Valyrian cooling techniques. Kythera's condition stabilized, though she had to remain in the medical bay under constant supervision. "The twins are actually helping now," Dr. Loren said, showing them new scans. "Their hybrid immune systems are protecting Kythera from some of the complications. It's like they've adapted to protect their mother." Sarah watched Cthulhu sleeping peacefully for the first time in weeks. The monitor showed 4 steady heartbeats, mother and 2 children, all fighting together to create something new in the universe. Humans and Valyrians, Dr. Rodriguez said softly, both stronger together than apart. Maybe that's what your ancient prophecy really meant. The medical bay erupted with a mixture of human and Valyrian cheers as the first twin emerged. The baby girl had Cthulhu's azure skin, but Sarah's dark hair and eyes. Moments later, her brother arrived, displaying the opposite combination, human skin tone with silver Valyrian eyes. "They're perfect," Cthulhu whispered, exhausted but happy. The twins' vital signs showed stronger readings than either species typically displayed at birth. Sarah couldn't stop the tears as she held her daughter. "She's beautiful. They both are." The baby grabbed her finger with surprising strength, her tiny hand showing a slight shimmer like Cthulhu's skin. Dr. Loran's scans confirmed what everyone could see. Extraordinary. Their hybrid genetics have produced enhanced physical characteristics. The boy's immune system is 3 times stronger than a typical Valyrian's, and the girl shows advanced neural development. News of the successful birth spread quickly through both worlds. The Valyrian Royal Council, which had once opposed the pregnancy, now celebrated the twins as symbols of their species' renaissance. Other Valyrian nobles, seeing the healthy babies and their enhanced abilities, began formally requesting human partners. Earth's diplomatic corps was flooded with applications for interspecies relationships. "Looks like we started a revolution," Sarah said, watching Cthulhu nurse the twins. They had named the girl Aurora, meaning dawn in Earth languages, and the boy Kar, a Valyrian name meaning new beginning. Cthulhu smiled tiredly. "A good revolution. Our people needed this change." She looked down at their children. "Aurora already has your determined look." Medical teams documented everything about the twins' development. Their hybrid nature gave them advantages from both species. Valyrian endurance and sensory capabilities combined with human adaptability and immune strength. The Royal Council held a formal ceremony to officially recognize the twins as heirs to the Valyrian throne. It was unprecedented. Never had part alien children been given such status. But looking at the healthy, thriving babies, even the eldest council members agreed. This was the future their species needed. 5 years passed quickly on the newly established joint colony world of New Harmony. Sarah watched from their home's balcony as Aurora and Kavar played in the garden, their unique abilities on full display. Aurora levitated small rocks, a Valyrian trait, while Kavar showed off his incredible speed, another hybrid advantage. "They're getting stronger every day," Cthulhu said, joining Sarah on the balcony. The success of their family had sparked a migration. Thousands of human Valyrian couples now lived on New Harmony, raising their own hybrid children. The colony had become a symbol of successful integration. Human architecture blended seamlessly with Valyrian design, creating a unique aesthetic that represented their merged cultures. The first school system designed specifically for hybrid children operated at full capacity. "Remember when they wanted to end our relationship?" Sarah asked, pulling Cthulhu close. "Now they're using our family as a model for interspecies cooperation." The twins' latest medical checkup had shown remarkable developments. Their hybrid genetics continued to evolve, showing advantages neither species had anticipated. Aurora's cognitive abilities exceeded both human and Valyrian norms, while Kivar's physical capabilities set new records. Ambassador Chen, a young human Valyrian couple, called from the street, waving. "Princess Cthulhu, the new cultural center opens today. Will you attend?" Cthulhu waved back. As the colony's leaders, they tried to participate in every major event. The cultural center would serve as both a meeting place and a museum, documenting the history of human Valyrian integration. That evening, during the opening ceremony, Sarah looked around at the gathered crowd. Humans and Valyrians sat together, their hybrid children playing between the seats. What had started as a diplomatic incident had grown into something beautiful. "Mother," Aurora tugged at Sarah's sleeve, her silver-flecked eyes serious. Teacher says we're special because we're first. But look, everyone's special here. Sarah hugged her daughter, watching Kovar demonstrate his athletic abilities to a group of admiring kids. That's right, sweetheart, we just opened the door. Everyone else walked through it together. Thera joined them, her royal robes now styled with human elements. And to think, it all started because I broke protocol and knocked on your door that night. Best diplomatic incident of my career. Sarah laughed, holding her family close as their community celebrated around them, a living testament to the power of breaking the right rules at the right time. The end.